Alright, what is up, YouTube? So, it's been like 2 or 3 weeks since I made my last post, and now I'm back. A few things have changed, actually. I stopped using the push-pull legs. I stopped using the bro split, and I went back to push-pull legs. I'm gonna try working out about 3 times a week now, because I have exams upcoming, so I can't really spend that much time at the gym. But I'm still gonna try to work hard and all. So yeah. But I mean, it's been good. You know, I started doing the push-pull leg split this week. Like yesterday was pull. The day before yesterday was push. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, it feels really good to be back. I absolutely love push-pull legs for some reason. So yeah, and in fact, right now, I'm on my way to the gym to do a leg day. And then I'm gonna go home and I will have to study. But yeah, I hate leg day, but I hope it's gonna be a good workout, you know? Yeah. I just rented this car so I could drive to the gym. I hate walking there, so I rent these cars too often, you know, because my car is being repaired at the moment, so I can't really use that one. But yeah. But anyway, this video is about 5 reasons that you struggle with building muscle. So I guess let's start off with the first reason. Now, the first and foremost reason that people struggle with building muscle despite working out is actually their diet habits. Because a lot of building muscle comes down to what you do at the kitchen, you know. You need to eat the proper way. You can't be eating too little. You need to eat just about enough so you could put on lean mass. And you also need to eat enough protein. So it's not just all about working out. Sure, you might get stronger when you work out, but if you want to build muscle specifically, then your diet has to be on point, because otherwise your body's not gonna have like the nutrients that it needs to put into building the muscle. Think of it like this: a car needs gas to run, so your muscles also need gas, so to say, to run, you know? So you gotta eat the right amount of protein, you gotta eat the right amount of carbohydrates, the right amount of fats, everything, the right amount of calories. And how I usually do it is I just Google how many calories per kilogram of body weight do I need to maintain, and then I add something on top of that, considering that I work out, and I also add like 500 on top of that so I could bulk. Then I also like to Google how much protein, fats, carbohydrates I should eat, and you can get an answer in percentages, or, you know, how much per kilogram, how many grams. But yeah, I would definitely say that diet is like number one when it comes to building muscle. So yeah, you should definitely be eating the right way. You should definitely be eating the right amount of protein. The right amount of protein, I would say, is like 2 times your body weight. That's the right amount of protein for building muscle. So if you work out, then remember this: protein is like the most important thing that you need for building muscle or just doing good in general, you know. So yeah. But I guess it's time to head to the gym. So yeah. I still haven't turned the car on. I think I might actually stop by the store before I go to the gym. So yeah. guys know this feeling when like you find a song that you really like and then you're just always listening to it? Like, I don't know. For me personally, when I find a song I like, I listen to it like all the time. Like I'm just playing that thing on repeat, you know. For some reason I'm like that. I don't like switching between songs. If there's one song I like, then I'm just playing that thing on repeat, bro. Like right now this song that I'm playing is hitting me real hard, bro. Like I want to get to the gym already, you know. Like I can't wait. Even though it's leg day, I'm still pretty hyped, you know. So yeah. It's just crazy, you know. But yeah. I mean, the drive to the gym is always, in my opinion, like the most fun part, you know. But right now I gotta stop by the store and then I can go to the gym. I have to buy some bananas and some protein, some pre-workout, you know. So yeah. Alright, so shopping is done. Here's what I got. Got this kind of milkshake. I actually got two of them. One is chocolate and one is strawberry ice cream. Then I got 3 bananas right in here and 2 pre-workout shots. So yeah, I mean, this is basically something I buy almost every day. So yeah. But I mean, the shopping run was good. It was quick. So now I am gonna have to go to the gym for that leg day. But anyways, back to the reasons that you're struggling with building muscle. The second reason that most people struggle with building muscle is actually something you might have a hard time believing. A lot of people struggle with building muscle because they train way too hard for their lifestyle. So what I mean by this is, you know, very often you might see these people like training so hard, they're going every set to failure, they're at the gym every single day. That's not really the right way to do it, especially if you're someone who works a regular job, you know. Let's say fitness influencers, for example, you can see them training like really often, really hard, like doing a lot of sets, going to failure a lot, training really often. But remember this, they're fitness influencers. Their life is built around working out. They make money off of working out. They do not have to work a regular job most of the time. They work out and they make money off of it, which gives them more time for recovering. They might do special things for recovering. They can eat a lot more and properly. Some of them take steroids. Not all, but some of them do, which also boosts your recovery. They take a lot of supplements. They build their lifestyle around building muscle, which is exactly why they can handle a lot more, you know. But a regular person, like me, for example, I'm not going to be able to handle as much as they do because I also have to work a job and I got so many things to focus on. Even eating properly is already hard on its own. So I would say that you shouldn't train too hard. You have to train hard, obviously, but not too hard. You have to do it properly. So I would say that with a push-pull leg split, what I like to do, train 6 times a week and only go to failure on the last sets. This is the most that I'm going to do because my lifestyle does not revolve around just building muscle, you know. So you have to look at it like a racing car. The car always brakes and slows down before a curve. But when the road is straight, it accelerates really hard. So the gym is exactly the same. You can't be just going full acceleration the entire time, because eventually you're just gonna fly off the road, you know. So you have to know when to accelerate and when to slow down. And I would say that the best way to do this is the first sets in an exercise, I always leave like 1 to 2 reps in the tank, and the last set I always go until failure. Obviously, if you train less, then you can go to failure on more sets. That's how it works. So how do I put this? There's a relationship between everything. So you can train more sets and train harder if you train less within the week, or you can train more within the week, but then you'll have to reduce the amount of sets that you do in one workout, and you will have to reduce the amount of times that you go to failure. You know what I mean? So you really have to think about this and not overwork yourself. This matters a lot in building muscle. You have to work hard, but you can't be pushing yourself too far. That's probably one of a very big reason that a lot of people struggle with, you know, building muscle, because they don't recover by their next workout. So they just keep destroying their muscle and they don't recover properly, and then they're just not going to build muscle, you know. So yeah, you should keep an eye on how often you train. And honestly, if you can, then obviously get a personal trainer. They're gonna help you. They know how to do this. They do this for a living. But if you can't afford one, then obviously you can try to learn on your own, which is exactly what I've been doing. I've been literally working out for like 5 years or so at the gym, and I'm still learning. So yeah, but something that can teach you well is YouTube, you know, books, all things like that. So yeah. But anyway, I think it's time to go and do that workout. So I will see you guys at the workout.
Run free and dive into the sky. Hear the wind crying out its prayer. Why are we so ashamed to be alive? Break the chains and our freedom's ours to take. Look behind your back. Chase a light when the world is getting darker. I have a dream where love's the only side. So take my hand, join the army of the shadows.
Alright, so I'm finished with the workout. God, it's really windy outside. Jesus. Okay, so the workout is finished. It was a pretty good leg day, but I didn't record 2 exercises, leg extensions and leg press. Sorry, no, RDLs and leg extensions, but yeah, it was a pretty good leg day. Yeah. and I feel pretty good about it. Now I'm just walking home. But anyways, the third reason that you might be struggling with building any muscle is that you're not recovering properly. When you're working out, then you have to make sure that your recovery is good. So what this means, you have to sleep the right amount every night, because while you're sleeping, that's when your body builds the muscle. And as well as that, you can't be drinking alcohol or consuming things that hinder your recovery too often. So this means alcohol and gym, they don't go together too well, and you have to sleep the right amount, and that's how you recover properly. So yeah, but now I just have to walk home, and then I will be good for the day. Then I'm just gonna have to eat, and that's it. So yeah.
Where did you go? My heart's on a mission. Search of my soul, 'cause I feel you slipping. Don't fade away to memory. I can feel you calling out my name. Somewhere in the galaxies, I feel you waiting. And I'll run back for you, back for you, back for you.
You know, it actually sucks quite a lot to be walking home with all these things. Fucking tripod in my hand and backpack. But it's fine. I just can't wait to get my car back. But yeah, man, I hate leg days so much. Like, they're so annoying and hard. They're annoyingly hard, you know. But I mean, I gotta get through it if I wanna become successful someday. So yeah, you know, you gotta just push through the pain. You know, that's called discipline, and you need to have discipline. And that actually brings me to the fourth reason that many people struggle with building muscle. That's discipline and inconsistency. So one part of building muscle and becoming successful in life overall is consistency and discipline. So you have to do what you do consistently and be disciplined. You have to push through the hard days, you know, because there is going to be days where you don't feel like working out or doing something, you know, but if you really want the end result, then you have to do it. That's just the way it is. Because if you start skipping your workouts on all the bad days where you don't feel like working out, then you're just not gonna make it anywhere. I mean, in the end, you're gonna be skipping more than you are actually working out, which is exactly why you're gonna start struggling, you know? And skipping is fine if you actually have a good reason for it. Like, let's say you had a flight back home from another country, you haven't slept well enough, you haven't eaten well enough, then it's better to take that day off, you know. But that's a good reason. But if you go to work and you're like, oh, I'm tired, you know, I don't feel like going to work out, bro, you're not gonna get anywhere like that. So you have to push through it, you know. That's how you build muscle. That's how you become successful in life. You just have to push through it, you know. So make sure that you're being consistent and actually working on yourself and being disciplined and pushing through the hard days, because that's how you will achieve that success. That's how you will achieve your dreams and your goals. So yeah, do not give up and be consistent and disciplined. That's it. And then one day you will achieve your dreams and your goals. You know, I just started thinking that while I've been at the gym throughout the entire time, the one thing I've been struggling a lot with is the weights I lift. So, you know, I'm building muscle, but for some reason, the amount of weight that I lift doesn't really increase that much. It might be because I don't really focus on that as much. I don't really do days where I'm trying to do PRs, you know. Like, I'm fully focused on just doing muscle workouts, but not heavy weight. So that could be the reason that the weights I lift don't really increase that much, I guess. But yeah, that brings me to the fifth and the last point of why you might be struggling with building muscle. So when you're working out at the gym, then one thing you should be trying to do is progressive overload. And if you're not doing that correctly, then you might not be building muscle optimally. Obviously, if you work out at the gym, you're either way going to build muscle, but the best way to do so is usually by progressive overloading. So what that means is basically you're trying to, let's say the rep range is 6 to 12. You're trying to get most of your sets up to 12 reps, and then you're gonna increase the weight. So basically, you're increasing the reps, let's say every week that you do on an exercise until you reach 12, and then you increase the weight by a small amount, and you just keep doing that, and that way you're going to build muscle. So, you know, your workout has to be structured in that way, that you're trying to progressive overload with the weights and reps. So if you're not doing that, then I definitely recommend you try that, because that can give you a lot more results. So yeah, but either way, I'm about to make it home, so I guess I'm gonna see you guys in the next video.